From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday here on LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check of 2021. In this recording, we go over that monthly stimulus check, how it gets to the finish line, and why the incredible great news across the board is hitting left and right today. We go over the monthly stimulus check, when you're going to get it, how you're going to get it, and who gets it. Then we cut to this stimulus, the single biggest payout you've ever seen for SSI and SSDI ever in the history of the program. And now, amidst the news on Friday, could see not only a one-time lift of your benefits, but a 20% add-on on top of that. I have all the breaking news as well. Meantime, thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars is landing in your bank account today and next week. And some of it you have to apply for, and the process to apply for it has a deadline of Monday. I have all the incredible breaking news happening right now. It's a big noontime. Let's get to it. Let's get to all the details starting right here, right now on Noontime LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. It's LALATE, and hope you are doing wonderful and great across the board. And in a big day in which there's so much happening across the board. This is LALATE, and hope you're having a beautiful day. The toast was toasting, and the toast was buttering, and I'm back now with you on Noontime LALATE. Going over your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, your fifth stimulus check update of 2021, and the big money land in your bank account. First, we're going to go over the fourth stimulus check, the biggest single payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. We're going to go over when you're going to get it, how you're going to get it, and all the details behind that. Then, in the second half of the recording, we'll go over this stimulus, the SSI and SSDI reform. And then in the middle of the recording, we're going to go over the big money land in your bank account starting today. But first, subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. From Wall Street to Main Street, from crypto to stimulus, I have it all covered for you. So make sure you subscribe right now. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. And if you're tuning in, get a pen and paper ready, because throughout the scope of this recording, I got a lot of money to give you and a lot of information. It's a full 30 minutes recording, so stay to the very end. And let's start first with the fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check got a major change on Friday. And I'll explain why the breaking news on Friday changed the impact of the fourth stimulus package. The fourth stimulus package is a monthly stimulus check that has two proposals, House and Senate. If you're on the live chat just after about 11:50 on the West Coast, get ready to vote, but not just yet, because we got to look at the two proposals. So now if we look at the House plan, what do they propose? A stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Let's compare that to the Senate plan and why Friday's breaking news impacts that across the board. So when we look at the two proposals, the Senate plan and the House plan, what do we see? First, let's go over the duration. The House plan would be for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate plan would be to the remainder of December. Interesting. So 6 months of stimulus checks from the Senate, but how many checks from the House? Here comes the breaking news on Friday. On the breaking news on Friday is that the CDC announced that the mask mandate is being lifted. Indoors, outdoors, if you're vaccinated. The White House on Friday announced that the mask mandate is lifted at the White House. Overnight, Trader Joe's, Home Depot, Lowe's all announced the mask mandate is being lifted. If the state's no longer required it, California, with a Democrat governor, the mask mandate's going away. So how many months left to the pandemic are there? Initially, we thought 4 months left. Could there be 4 weeks left? That would mean that the House plan provides you only stimulus checks for 1 year, not 4 plus 12, or 3 plus 12, potentially 1 plus 12. Or even more dramatic, that the proposal for the House plan may get a vote when it gets a vote in July that the pandemic may be over. Let's go to the monthly stimulus checks now. So the monthly stimulus checks, the House plan provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate plan, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is the Senate plan would be this. Wow, wow, wow. Incredible great news. $2,000 a month over 6 months. $1,400 a month over 6 months. $8,400. Now get ready to vote. House versus Senate. House versus Senate. And you may have an totally different opinion now than you did 2 days ago. Because why? When we look at the number of stimulus checks from the Senate, from the House, you may not think that the pandemic may still be around in July. If you don't think the pandemic's around in July, I agree with you. And on that notion, the House plan would only provide 1 year of checks, not a year plus something. There would be no more plus. It would just be 1 year, 12 months of checks, which would be $12,000. But ironically, if you look at the Senate plan provides the same amount, potentially, in just 6 months, not 12 months. Wow, wow, wow. That's how we do it on this channel. We do the analysis, we do the numbers, and we also do the breaking news. And boy, that is exciting. Who gets a forced stimulus check? You do. If you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or railroad benefits, you do. If you are a single individual who makes less than $75,000, you get the forced stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the forced stimulus check. And if you are a household of 4 or less, congratulations, you get the forced stimulus check. Married couple, you would double it. Household 4 or less, you would double it. You would quadruple it. That's Larry Kudlow math almost there. 4 people, you double it. No, 4 people, you quadruple it. Remember, I'm a reporter. I'm not a legislator, so I'm just reporting what they represent, and they represent the votes in July. So that means the first check you would get in the month of July and a month thereafter. July, August, September, and away we go. It is not income. It's not taxable. The amount of the stimulus check would be the same if you're an adult dependent or a child, and everyone else. Incredible great news across the board. Take it out for child support? We don't know just yet. Would it disqualify you from anything else? No. Are any of the economic numbers that came out in the last 4 days, or the fact that the pandemic may be ending, impacting negatively the stimulus check? Absolutely no. In fact, it's actually helping the stimulus check. I'll have that analysis for you in a second. And I'll have that analysis for you in the second half of this video. But guess what? Here's a preview of what's coming up in the second half of this video. Over the last few days, you've heard me talk about fifth stimulus, which follows the same path as fourth stimulus. It's a 2-bill, 2-month, 2-step process. The fourth stimulus is currently underway in that process, getting done in July. Fifth stimulus would be in September. 2-bill, 2-month, 2-step process that would raise your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and survivor benefits. But here's the breaking news on Saturday. Incredible great news. Your benefits we knew would be tied to inflation going forward. But what's the inflation rate? New reports suggest the inflation rate could be 20%, which would mean your benefits would rise and your inflation would give you the biggest payout in your history of your benefits ever. And going forward, what would that say? I have all the incredible news in the second half of this video, so stay with me. We'll be going over that in a second, but first let me go over the incredible money I have for you starting right now. What's important to understand is that in the next 5 minutes of this recording, I have a lot of money available for you, and I want you to get it. You're going to hear me going over money that's available by donut, meaning you don't have to do anything. You just eat your donut and watch for that money to land. Money that is tough love money, meaning you have to do something, and if you don't do it, you're not going to get it. Tough love. And then finally, we're going to go over breaking news across the board and those items that impact your money in the next few days. Let's start with this. When third stimulus was passed in January this year, I told you, as a viewer of this channel who makes less than $75,000, get ready for $5,000 to $25,000 under the third stimulus I'm going to get you. Well, guess what? Now is the time to get it. Purple Hawks, pounce. Pounce and do your thing because the stimulus stampede is rushing in the door. You can hear the footsteps crumbing in the door. What's going live? Last week, this week, and next week going live is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utility bill assistance coming from third stimulus now to your city, county, and state from the federal government. So where do you get that? Hope you got that pen and paper ready. If I'm going too fast, you can always replay the video and toggle the screen underneath it once it archives. Well, number one, rent. Wow, this is incredible great news. It is $5,000 approximately. 4 to 6 months of past due rent. You can go get it. Reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, and your state housing authority, and go get it. The word you're going to use is rent assistance because of COVID. You can also add Biden. I said rent assistance because of COVID. You could also say Biden Economic Recovery Act. Do not use the words stimulus or stimulus act or third stimulus or anything with the word stimulus because they don't know what you're talking about. All right. Then you can also get utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowners assistance. Next is incredible great news about SNAP. What is SNAP? It is money for food, and you get it from your Department of Agriculture. That is Department of Agriculture, DOA. Reach out to them via 211 sometimes. How much money? It's incredible. A family of 4 in Hawaii can get upwards of $16,000 by getting onto benefits. Why? Because it was a Trump executive order and a Biden executive order which raises your benefits for 15%. SNAP is money for your food. And look at this. We're only 10 minutes into this video, and I've gotten that incredible $5,000 for money for rent and about $16,000 for SNAP if you're in Hawaii. But guess what? It's time for a tough love moment to start right off the bat. What's the tough love moment? Number one. Fourth stimulus, when they finish the two-step, 2-month process with those monthly stimulus checks, they will not, categorically not, give you any more money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance. And even worse, they're going to get rid of the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance. Why? Because they wanted you to get this money in third stimulus. So get the money first before the stimulus stampede comes in, because this is going away. Tough love moment. But let's now turn to some incredible donut money. Donut money number one is incredible great news, and this is automatic monies coming back to you from your state. Where do you get it? On the account that your state has on record with you. If your state overpaid you unemployment benefits anytime in the last year and then asked you to return it to no fault of your own because of a computer malfeasance and you returned it, you're getting that money back automatically. It's incredible great news. The Department of Labor has ordered states to return that money back to you, and they're now returning the money back to you. Every state is different. I had someone send me a message just minutes ago saying that her husband had to return the money back. It was a substantial amount of money. I think it was $5,000, and asked me when is their state getting that money back to the person. Every state is different. Every state has a different time frame, but it's incredible great news because the states have now been ordered to return that money back to you. Get ready to have that land in your bank account. Donut moment number two. Incredible great news. We do know when this is landing and who it's landing from. It's from the federal government, from IRS, from Treasury, and it's landing all this week. It's landing today as well. Some of them may still land next week. It's for single tax filers, and if you're a joint tax filer, it's landing at the end of the month. Where is it landing? In the mailbox, generally, in a beige or white envelope with a beige check in there, and the check is from Department of Labor or Department of Treasury or IRS with the subject line in the notes of refund. How much money are you getting back? Thousands of dollars. What's at issue? Money you paid to the federal government on your 2020 tax return, paying taxes on your first $10,200 of unemployment. They are returning that money now back to you. So let's go over this details starting right now. It's a donut moment. You don't have to do anything. If you filed a tax return, then expect that money back. Here's an example. You filed a 2020 tax return already. Your total unemployment benefits last year was $9,000. Your whole tax bill was $5,000, of which $4,000 was taxes on the unemployment. You're getting back a check for $4,000. Incredible great news. Now, if you have a direct deposit account on file with IRS, you're getting it on there instead. And if you're a joint filer, again, your money's coming at the end of the month, which brings us down to another tough love moment. This tough love moment is for people who have not gotten that money back from IRS. You have to file the tax return. When is the tax return due? Monday. Over the scope of this recording, you're going to start to hear over the next 3 minutes where I'm going to detail a deadline. That deadline is Monday. At the end of Monday, this coming Monday, your personal federal tax return is due. If you do not file it, you're not going to get the money. And that's where we are. So let me go to this tough love moment. If you had federal taxes taken out for your unemployment assistance throughout 2020, you have to file that tax return with IRS by the end of Monday, requesting that money back. Here's the example. Let's say you had $100 taken out per week for federal taxes while receiving your unemployment benefits over 10 weeks. 10 times 100, $1,000. So you have to file that tax return by the end of Monday, requesting that money back from the federal government. Easy breezy. And now we turn to the incredible big money for the children. Now, that big money for the children is in July, and that July money is incredible great news. If you have a child 5 to newborn, it's $3,600 per child, $300 a month. 17 to 6, $250 a month, starting in the month of July. total of $3,000. Here's what you need to know. 2 eligibility criteria. Number 1, you made less than $75,000. Number 2, IRS knows that child exists and is with you. That's where the problem erupts. Tough love moment number 1, you never file a tax return. So IRS potentially doesn't know that child exists. If you never file a tax return and you believe that IRS does not know that child exists with you, you must categorically 100%, triple underline, 3 exclamation points, file that tax return by the end of Monday. If you don't, you're not getting the money for the children. So a mom of 3, 4, and a 5-year-old that she thinks the IRS does not know their existence is with her must file that tax return by Monday or is not getting the money. Now, here's a twist just today for Saturday, and it comes off the comments of one of the viewers on Mornings LA. The viewer asks, what if I file a extension of my tax return? Will I still get the money? You'll still get the money. You'll just get it insanely late. So here's an example. IRS is getting ready to send that money in July for these children. If you do an extension of your tax return and file it in October, guess when you're getting that money for July? Probably next year. So don't wait. If you delay giving them information, IRS, they're going to delay months for giving you stimulus money. Doesn't mean you will never get it. It means you're going to get it months late. So don't do an extension if you don't have to. All right, next item is the incredible great news about the second tough love moment. If you do file tax returns, but you have not listed that child, you must list that child on a tax return and get on file by Monday. Here's an example. The child has previously been listed on your ex-husband's tax returns, not on yours, so they don't know the child's with you. Or let's say the child was born in the last year. The IRS doesn't know the child's alive. You must file that tax return by the end of Monday listing that child. Tough love moment number 3. That you do file tax returns every year. You filed 2019, you listed the child. But the problem is that 2019, you made a lot of money and are ineligible for this money because you made too much income. But in 2020, you took a nosedive because of the pandemic, and now you are eligible for the income. But you haven't filed the 20 return yet. Hence, file that 2020 return because IRS will go off the most recent tax return, the 2019, that shows you made too much money and are ineligible for the children's money. Incredible great news. And now let's go to the biggest tough love moment. If you're missing a first stimulus check, a second stimulus check, a third stimulus check, or any household member's stimulus check, you must file that tax return by the end of Monday. If you don't, you're not getting it. Every day I sporadically have 1 or 2 viewers jump in the live chat or the comments and says, is anyone else missing their third stimulus check? The answer, the tough love answer is no. Anyone else is already at the tax preparer because they already know posting comments to YouTube channels is not going to get you the missing third stimulus check. The only way to do it, as IRS has said, is file that tax return and it's due by Monday. So this is a rush to the finish. You must get it on file or you're not getting that missing stimulus check. Now, here's a tough love moment that I want you to really understand. I want you to look at the camera and listen to me very clearly. If you don't have to file tax returns because you don't make enough money, or you're on SSI or an SSDI and don't have to file tax returns because you're on benefits, that is fine, but that's not what I'm talking about in this recording. IRS has made emphatically clear to Americans across the board over the last few months that if you want these stimulus items and you think that they don't know the existence or the location of a particular person, you categorically must file the tax return. You must file a tax return to get stimulus or you're not going to get the stimulus money. And now the incredible great news is that rent and utilities and food and internet are available across the board, city, county, state. And if you're having problems finding it, no worries, we have the community page. The community page link is in the description of this video. It's also in the pinned comment. It's news.la.com/community. Look for it. It has a little house emoji next to it. It sends you right to the community page that has a list of volunteers. The web page has some cats on the top of the page. Reach out to the volunteers. They can help you with those items. They can't do any tax advice and they can't help you with unemployment assistance, but they can get you all that other things like rent and utility assistance across the board. And here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back in 60 seconds. Drop your comments during the commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LALATE. What a big noontime it is. I have more about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, your fifth stimulus package as well. How are you? It's a big noontime, and I have incredible details still coming up in this recording about the fourth stimulus check, the monthly stimulus check that pays out starting the month of July. I also got over to fifth stimulus and why we have incredible great news coming in September. And also more details about big money landing this coming week. If you've not subscribed, subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel from Wall Street to Main Street. I love that you're here, and I want you to subscribe. Be part of this incredible family. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. You have links to the items that are in the packages across the board. During the commercial break, I saw a series of questions that I wanted to answer, a few that were absolutely exceptional. One person said, anyone still not received that third stimulus check that the IRS tool shows coming March 26? That is exactly the example of the person who must file that tax return by Monday. If you are one of those people that appears on the IRS tool and shows that a check is on its way and you never got it, it's what's called a missing stimulus check. It's missing. They show it was sent, you never got it. Simple scenario. IRS has already detailed this over several months. You must file that 2020 tax return. So no longer track stimulus checks on the IRS tool. Go right to the tax preparer and get that tax return on file by Monday. Second, another person said, so in other words, what you're saying is I'm not getting a fourth stimulus check unless I file a tax return. No, that was not what I was going over before. So listen carefully. I was referring to refund items back from IRS and stimulus items. So for children, for refund money back from IRS, for getting ready for other items that are coming up, like the children's check. Those are where you have to get that tax return on file. If you don't get the tax return on file, congratulations, you're not getting money in July. It's as simple as that. All right, now let's get to the incredible details of fifth stimulus and what's going on in fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus got a really major great news surprise on Friday out of nowhere. And I am absolutely ecstatic for you if you're on benefits. So let's go to the details right now. Fifth stimulus is the next stimulus package, and it's a two-bill, two-step, two-month process, just like fourth stimulus. It starts in September, fifth stimulus starts in September, unlike fourth stimulus. And what does it do? It increases your benefit limits, removes the asset limit, and does a new one, adds an inflationary benchmark. That's the big bombshell overnight, and then removes the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over all the details starting right now. Well, it's just incredible. First, what they're going to do is raise your benefits up to a big new number. This is you. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits, you will be raised up to a new big number. You've already heard that over recent days in this recording. Then they're going to tie your benefits to inflation. So as inflation goes up, your benefits will go up. To which we now slow it down and go over the jaw-dropping, incredible great news from Friday. When we say your benefits are tied to inflation, what does that mean? It means every December, you get a letter from your benefit agency, like Social Security, for example, that says, hi, we determined that next year your benefits will be this number. what they will be doing going forward is they will look at the inflationary rate, and if inflation goes up, your benefits will go up. We understood that already. So over the last few days, we've been talking about 2%, 4%, 3%, 2.5% inflationary rate, which you understand. They would raise your benefits up to a new number, and then if inflation came in at 2%, they would raise you up 2%. Now, here's what's important for you to know, is that when they raise you up for next year at 2%, because inflation is, in this example, 2%, the year after that, you don't step down. So let's say the year after that, it's zero inflation. You don't step down. You still stay at the step-up basis. It's a step up or flat. There is no step down on this basis. So if you go up 2% one year, and then the next year it's 4%, you go up another 4%, and the year after that it's 3%, you do. And then if 5 years after that, zero, you still stay at that high number. Well, here comes the great news. On Friday, Jeremy Siegel, head of Wharton School of Business, one of the leading economists in the country, and a top investor, said that he's surprised that people are talking about 2, 3, 4% inflationary rate by the end of this year. He thinks it's going to be 20%. This is incredible, insanely great news for you, because this is what's going to happen if he is correct on that inflationary number. First, of course, they're going to raise your benefits up to a big new number under fifth stimulus. And if Siegel's right that the inflationary rate is going to be 20% this year, you would get a 20% lift up. And guess what? That would be your new number going forward, lifetime. And you would never go down even if inflation is zero for the rest of the years that you're on this planet. So if the year after this, after a 20% inflationary year, let's say we go to another 3% inflationary year, then you would go up 3%. It's incredible. A massive 20% jump in inflation would lift your benefits 20% lifetime. It's incredible, great news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap. It's dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and have more than $3,000 on hand. For some of you, that's great news so that you can keep those stimulus checks in the bank. Next, the income exclusion, dating back to a 1960s law that says you cannot work and stay on benefits. Now they're going to get rid of it. So if you want to go work, you can. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, you can. They're going to establish a new benchmark, new number for that, and allow you to stay on benefits. Incredible, great news. And finally, the marriage penalty. Love is going to win with this one. Amen. So let's say you are married, you have been suffering the marriage penalty, or you're considering getting married, which one of the viewers in this chat always talks about. Considering getting married, you understand that getting married would end your benefits. It's called the marriage penalty. They're getting rid of it. So love is going to win. You'll be able to consummate your love in a ceremony and not lose your benefits. It's incredible, great news. I don't think I could ever have better news than that. That's the fifth stimulus package, and I'm so excited for you. A two-bill, two-step, two-month process. Likely see the benefits impact your account by November. Remember, I'm a reporter. I only report what they represent. These are their representations, not mine. Now let's go back to fourth stimulus, and let's go over what happened in the last 7 days and why other items of fourth stimulus, not the stimulus checks, are impacted by those financial news across the board. First, let's go over the stimulus checks amounts again so we understand why the CDC order impacts the situation. When we're looking at those stimulus checks, the CDC's suggestion that the mask mandate is now gone and the indication that states are now lifting mask mandates across the board now in May suggests that when the bill goes to a vote in July, the pandemic may be over. If the pandemic is over, then the House proposal of pandemic plus 1 year only leaves you with 1 year because the pandemic will have been over. So under the House proposal, you would only see 12 months of stimulus checks. How much? $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. So $13,000 for 12 months for a single individual. If you're in the live chat right now, vote House or Senate, because here we go. $13,000 over 12 months for the House versus potentially $12,000 over 6 months in the Senate. Yes, you now see how it makes a lot more sense with the Senate proposal. Here's what the president's great news was over the last 7 days. Number one, repeatedly over 4 or 5 press conferences, the president said, get it done. Incredible great news because he's speaking to his Democratic leadership, telling them to get the fourth stimulus package done, out the door, and finished. The reason why he's saying that is there's a two-step, two-bill process where it needs to go through those swoops. And by saying get it done is incredible great news. The other item of incredible great news is the 3-word items that he said this week: corporate tax rate. Corporate tax rate will remain the only big issue for President and his party in the last 7 days. The corporate tax rate the president proposes is 29 or 28%. The current corporate tax rate is 21%. He had said, I'll make a deal, and the deal was exactly what those moderate Democrats want. This is incredible great news because now there's nothing to derail reconciliation. And he also said, get it done, referring to fifth stimulus. Now, here's the other breaking news that is important to understand. In the last 7 days, we have seen the jobs number released a week ago Friday that showed there were more jobs available than people willing to take them. We got the consumer price index number and the producer price index number released less than 3 days ago, both showing that the inflationary rate is going through the roof. What did that show to Wall Street? What did it show to Republican governors and Republican legislators? That Americans sometimes need stimulus checks, but they don't need other stimulus items like FPUC, like PEUC, the extension of UI benefits, like an eviction moratorium, and like a mortgage forbearance. Here's what you need to know. The great news is that all Democrats have now seen that jobs number and the PPI and the CPI number may impact unemployment stimulus, but doesn't impact stimulus checks. And then of Republican governors, they say it absolutely does call for the end of employment stimulus, but not the end for stimulus checks. Here's one of the examples. In one state, one of the governors said, you know what? These numbers show it's time for people to stop FPUC, PEUC. And to do that, I'm going to give you a stimulus check. That's incredible great news because suddenly people are really getting very focused and understanding that stimulus checks are a way to get you caught up on your bills and have nothing to do with the employment numbers, with the end of the pandemic, the reopening play, or any of that. It's incredible great news across the board. What you need to know about what's coming up next week is that the Fed's notes will be released this Wednesday, and it will likely reveal that the inflationary rate may be higher, like Jeremy Siegel suggested. Also coming up later on today is Afternoons LALATE. I'm back this afternoon with a big update about fourth stimulus with the more breaking news happening just in the last hour. I'm going to review it and go back on camera and give you all those breaking, developing details. You're going to be surprised. So tune into Afternoons LALATE coming up this afternoon. And then we go into Evenings LALATE, that big broadcast where I review what's going on with this big money. Go to that tax preparer, get those tax returns on file, get that money that's owed to you. Fourth stimulus, fifth stimulus. In this recording, we went over the fourth stimulus check, the monthly stimulus check is coming to you starting in July. We went over fifth stimulus that will change your benefits across the board, and we went over this big money starting to land across the board as well. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I want you part of this family. Help it grow. Share the videos on Facebook and share all the other videos across the board. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LALATE for more.